Oh, okay, there we go. Apologies for that black screen continuation. And thank you for being us throughout the difficult difficulties that we just experienced. Hello, everyone. I'm Lizette Gabriel, and I work as a librarian in the Business and Economics Department here at the Los Angeles Public Library. Welcome to today's presentation called Doing Business with the City of Los Angeles. This program is the second of a three-part webinar series and is brought to you by the Mayor's Office of Economic Development and the Los Angeles Office of Procurement. If you missed out on our first program, which discussed the basics of procurement and RAMP, it is available on the library's YouTube page. Today's presenters are Teresa Macias Reese, Karen Son, Trisha Carey, Kathy Serrano, and Rolando Tuason. Our first speaker will be Teresa Macias Reese from the state of California, Department of General Services. Teresa currently serves as a bilingual business outreach liaison at the Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Services, California Department of General Services. In this role, she educates business owners about the benefits and opportunities of pursuing a small business certification known as SB, Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Certification known as DVBE, and contract opportunities with the state of California. Teresa worked in various capacities in banking for about 20 years and later transitioned into as a substitute teacher for 5 years at Washington Unified School District. Her background is in business, and she holds a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Sacramento State University. A little housekeeping before we begin. Today's program is being recorded and will be available to view later. If we exceed our 1 hour time slot, you can view the rest of the program on the library's YouTube page. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section and we will have a Q&A session after this portion of the presentation. I'd now like to pass the presentation over to Teresa.
Thank you, Lisette, for the introduction. And as she said, my name is Teresa Macias Reese. I'm a bilingual business outreach liaison with the Office of Small Business and DBBE Services. We call it OSDS. My contact information is shown on the screen. I believe you will get a copy of the slide presentation, so you'll be able to just click on it and be able to reach me or my office at business@dgs.ca.gov. Next, please. So the state of California spends billions of dollars every single year, and the state requires agencies and state departments to award at least 25% of those dollars to small businesses and 3% to disabled veteran business enterprises. Next. Just to put that into perspective, last year, or in fiscal year 2019-2020, the state spent $12 billion. Out of those $12 billion, $2.8 billion went to small businesses. That was a 23.7%. We didn't quite reach the 25%, and I'll explain why. And $463 million, or 3.8%, we surpassed that goal, went to DBBEs. So we didn't quite reach the 25% because in that fiscal year, especially in 2020, we had the COVID and the fires. So we had a lot of emergencies. And during those emergencies, the states, they have to go and get whoever they can to placate the emergency, right? So it has to be done at that time. So to try to compensate for those emergencies, my department worked hard on this emergency registry that is specifically for small businesses. So we're trying to get you as a certified small business to get a bigger piece of the pie for all the emergency money spending. Next. So the state has three certifications: the small business (SB), the small business for the purpose of public works (SBPW), and the disabled veteran business enterprise (DVBE). Now, all of the information, including how to register and how to certify to get any of the three certifications, or maybe two if you qualify for two, can be found at our website, www.caliprocure.ca.gov. Next. So these are some of the benefits of having the certification. The first one is the certification is not going to cost you anything. It's free. It is good for 2 years. And a few months before your certification expires, you'll get an email telling you that you need to renew it. Your firm will get added into CaliProcure, which is the one-stop shop for all state buyers. They go in here and they look for you, or vice versa. You can look for state contracts. You'll have access to all the contract opportunities that are exclusive for certified small businesses, like the SB DBBE option, where state buyers, they go and look for you in CaliProcure, and they request a quote for directly from a certified DBBE or a certified small business. The certification is also recognized by local governments. That would be city, county, across the state. And you, as a certified small business, are eligible for a 5% bid preference if you're an SB, or up to a 5% bid incentive if you're a DBBE. And this is for unapplicable state solicitations. Okay, it would have to specify, the contract would have to specify that. We also have about 59 reciprocity partners throughout the state, which includes utility companies, the state university, the UCs, counties, cities. You would have to go into CaliProcure to look at all of our reciprocity partners. Next. There are many resources. The state contracting is very complicated, but there are many organizations out there that can help you throughout the process. If you get registered, okay, because that's the first step. You register, and then the second step is to get your certification. Then, and you look through CaliProcure and you find a contract, please go out and get help from one of the organizations. You can also, so the SB DBBE advocates, they're actually state workers. So every state agency that spends over $100,000 has an advocate, and they can help you at least keeping your contact, knowing what you sell, and telling you if their state agency is buying what you sell. The Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, the PTACs, the Small Business Development Centers, local chambers, the SBAs and SCOREs. These are just some of the resources that are out there free of cost for you to help you through navigate through state contracts. So please don't be afraid. Get registered, certified, and get help through when looking at a contract that you're interested in. Just get the certification. Thank you. Lisette?
Okay, thank you, Teresa. All right, then. So I'm going to leave the resources. We're going to leave that on just in case. So if anybody wants to write anything down. But again, it's being recorded. So again, library's YouTube page. All right, then. So it looks like we might have some questions. Let me just confirm. Okay. And let's see here. The first one is, what certifications does the state recognize?
The three that I mentioned, the small business certification, the small business for the purpose of public works, and the disabled veteran business enterprise.
Okay, perfect. Let's see what else. Okay, here we go. What is the process, and are there pipelines for small businesses?
So the first thing, like I said, is getting registered. Then once you get registered, it's a quick 6 step process, like 6 pages that you have to go through the questions and answer them. Then you go and get your certification. Once you get your certification, then the one thing to do is look for do market research. Look for which state agencies or departments have purchased the services or products that your company sells. So basically, you're going to have to do your homework. If you need help with the research, you can contact our office and we can help you through the process. But you definitely have to do the homework. You have to do market research. You have to look for contracts. Once you find the contracts, get help so you understand every single step and every word that's in that contract. Because once you sign a contract, you're bound and you are legally bound to do and perform the contract as specified. So get the help. So first, register, certify, um, do your market research, contact an advocate, look for a contract. Once you find it, contract contact an organization that can help you through the process.
Okay.
That's my 5 cents on that.
You guys, oh, that's great. Okay, so I don't see anything else here. Oh, and before we continue on to the next portion, I also want to put out, besides everything that Teresa just mentioned as to getting help and assistance, don't forget about your public libraries, the state library. If you need anything to look up, anything to do with the marketing, the librarians are here to help you out. So don't forget about that. And let me see, I think I see questions. Oh, here we go. Here's another question from Liddell Hayes. Do a nonprofit that provides service quality for a contract to help disabled? I'm assuming it means, does a nonprofit that provides services qualify for a contract?
We also do have the nonprofit certifications. We usually don't speak about them, but anybody can do contracts with the state. Okay, you don't even have to be certified. The only thing is, if you're not certified, then you don't get the benefits. That's it, basically.
Oh,
So anybody, we contract with people from all over the world.
okay.
So definitely.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So I don't, let's see. If I see, I think I see something else pop up. Oh, okay. Okay. She meant disabled veterans. Okay. So you mentioned pretty much. All right. Okay. So again, any questions? We have the websites right there. Okay. So we just had one pop in from Francisco. What if I am permanently disabled? I'm assuming.
Okay, so we do not have a disability type of certification. It is only for disabled veteran.
Mm,
There might be some, but that would be more at the federal level, not at the state.
okay. All right. All right then. So now I'm going to continue with our next portion of the presentation. And thank you again, Teresa, for being here with us today and dealing with
Thank you so
our
much.
technical difficulties. Okay. All right, then. So to move on, our next section is a fireside chat panel with city departments, LAWA, which is the Los Angeles World Airports, DWP, which is the Department of Water and Power, POLA, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is the Port of Los Angeles, LAPL, which is, of course, the Los Angeles Public Library. And our speakers are Amber, Karen, Trisha, and Kathy. They will discuss getting acquainted with the inclusions programs, certifications, upcoming projects, and procurement opportunities in their departments. So, Miss Amber Mishak, I hope I pronounced it correctly, or
That's
Meshach.
right.
I did? Okay, good.
Yes.
Is the director of the Business, Jobs, and Social Responsibility, known as BJSR, division at Los Angeles World Airports. As director of the BJSR division, Ms. Meshach is responsible for workforce and business opportunity programs, including ensuring delivery of contractors' commitments to use local workers and small, local, and disadvantaged businesses on the 19 billion LAWA capital program, overseeing LAWA's first source hiring program for local workers, managing the small contractor development and bonding assistance program, and developing strategic partnerships for business and workforce development. Karen Karen Son is the Supplier Diversity Manager at the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power and is responsible for the administration and implementation of programs and initiatives that support business inclusion and diversity in LADWP's contracting opportunities. Trisha Carey is the Director of Contracts and Purchasing for the Port of Los Angeles. Her responsibilities include the management of personnel who are responsible for the port's procurement and contracting activities and warehouse and supply chain services. She also administers the port's Small Business Enterprise Program, which provides opportunities for small, minority owned, women owned, and disabled veteran business enterprises to participate in professional service and construction contracts. Kathy Serrano comes from the private sector, where she worked at an accounting firm and has over 15 plus years of experience in taxation and financial accounting. Kathy joined the City of LA family in mid 2019, and she has been with the Los Angeles Public Library Business Office for a little over 2.5 years. She brings her many years of business and budgeting experience to the library department. All right, so our first speaker will be Amber. And let me know, Amber, if you would like to bring up your department's website. Did Amber disappear? Oh, no. Where did Amber go? Oh, okay. All right. So it looks like Amber's back, but with audio. So, Amber, can you hear me? Okay, so we'll get back to Amber. All right then. So the next page. All right, we'll go to Karen. And Karen, I'll bring up the site and share that so that, let's see, here we go. So that you can see the Department for the Water and Power. Where did it go? My goodness. It looks like my site disappeared. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. So my apologies for this, but it looks like we are in a little bit of a delay here. Okay. So this makes more sense. Thank you again. All right, then. So, Karen.
Hi. So I'm Karen Sun from LADWP. We are the largest municipal water and power utility in the nation. We serve 4 million residents and businesses in the city of Los Angeles. And each year we award over $1 billion worth of contracts. Our business inclusion program, well, we have some programs for small businesses. A lot of people think that because our contracts are so big, there's no chance to participate if you're a small business in our contracting opportunities. But we understand it's very difficult for small businesses to bid on contracts that are like tens of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. So we have a program called our Small Business Enterprise and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Participation Program, where we put minimum participation goals, just much like what the state does in the earlier presentation, where we require people to, vendors who are bidding on our contracts, to come in with that minimum percentage of small businesses as part of their team. I'm going to just go ahead and sort of say that, the proprietary departments, both Trisha Carey, who's here, and Amber, the airports, we all have similar programs, maybe with slight differences, just so that we're probably all going to kind of say the same things, but that's how we do it. If you're looking for opportunities, one of the best ways we can do it, I apologize because I kind of had some technical problems myself on that. Lizette, on the left side, there's if you can see, there's a menu where you can see the supply line. Can you see where it says supply line?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you were
Let me just scroll down here a little. That one?
Mm-hmm. When you go to the LADWP website and you get to our supplier portal, there's a link to the where it says to the supply line. And what we do is every quarter publish upcoming opportunities. This is not a bit as like LA Ramp where you're actually bidding, but this gives you, it's our 18-month look ahead of projects that are coming down the line so you can prepare yourself. So this is our April issue. And if you go to the top, and there's a thing that says, I think, 18-month look ahead or contract opportunities. Okay, I'm not sure. I can't see it exactly here. On the, I think it's called the, I'm sorry, Supply Line Newsletter. There's contracting opportunities
I see
on the top right.
I see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a listing, a water system, power system, joint system, and you can download each one of these listings of each of the systems within LADWP that are going to be going out for contracts in the next 18 months. This is a really good tool and important tool, so you can see what kind of stuff LADWP buys and what kind of services we contract for.
Okay, that's perfect. All right. So if we have, oh, good, Amber's back. So are you there? Like, Amber, can you hear me?
I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go to your website, which is LAWA, again, the Los Angeles World Airports, and I'll let you take it from here.
Sure. I will actually, let's go to business inclusivity programs. I think that that's probably something that a lot of folks are interested in. And, but honestly, we have a lot of the same programs as the state, as DWP. Something different that we have is the Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification, as well as the other agencies have it, but didn't really mention it as much, but also the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification. So if we do have projects with federal dollars in them, those are two of the programs that still apply. The Minority Women and Other Business Enterprise program is more or less defunct. So if you are a minority or woman with a certification, we count it and track it. But we really encourage you to get small business certification. But rather than kind of walk us through the website, I think what would be better was just to make sure that everyone has. I think if you go to I don't know, just BGSR, I'm trying to, is really to reach out to us, because one of the things I want to really talk about is for Los Angeles World Airports, it's so vast, it's so huge, there's so many different divisions, and our job is really to help you navigate through that process as a small business, as a new contractor. And so I definitely want to leave if you go down a little bit.
Oh, down a little more? Okay.
I think we're updating. The reason that it's not the greatest is because we're updating our website. Oh, here it is, Business Jobs and Social Responsibility Division. You click there. We're actually in the midst of redoing our whole website, but it does have our email address and contact information.
Oh yeah, you can tell that you guys are updating it.
It might be in the midst of being updated. So our email address is businessandjobs@lawa.org. And our phone number is 424-64, there it is, 646-7300. So anything that you do, I think the main message that I want to get across is that we're really here to help you navigate, because it is such a complex process. Most of what you do is going to be it's gonna take a lot longer than you think, but there's a huge opportunity. As Lizette mentioned, LAWA is in the midst of a nearly $20 billion capital improvement program, where we're transforming LAX, which is already, as of this past year, the 5th busiest airport in the world. Before the pandemic, we were the 3rd busiest airport in the world, and we're really transforming into a global airport to welcome, the whole world for the Olympics and all the other big things. I think also, as you know, we're a huge economic engine. And so the opportunity, there's tons of opportunities. There's the $20 billion construction program. There's the hundreds of $millions in goods and services that we procure on an annual basis. But to be frank, I think when I speak about small businesses and kind of emerging businesses and businesses just starting out, the reality is a lot of the work that would be performed by you is really going to be as a subcontractor. So it's definitely important for you to understand the ramp and, look at all of our look aheads and understand the projects and the cycle of projects that's coming out. But what's even more important is to get to know people like me, like Karen, like Trisha, at these agencies who can kind of give you insight and help you network. Because what you're really going to be seeking is to build relationships with a lot of the larger teams that are going to be the vehicle for you to really access opportunity on some of these big projects.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Amber. All right, so who do we have next? Let me make sure I have the site first. Okay, here we go. So this is Trisha. So let me know if you need me to move anything around, Trisha.
No, I think that's good. Sorry. And of course, my gardener literally showed up 30 seconds ago. So I'm the director of contracts and purchasing at the port. We mainly have 3 types of procurement opportunities. We do requests for proposals, which are for scientific, expert, technical services, and those are awarded to the most qualified responder. And then we also have requests for bids for construction projects and for the procurement of materials and supplies. So like anything you would find at Home Depot, we pretty much buy all of that along with equipment like vehicles. We also have a small business enterprise program. Our annual goal is 25% small business participation, including a 5% very small business enterprise participation. So we set mandatory small business and very small business requirements on all of our construction and professional service opportunities. So we don't do a good faith effort. Either a proposer or bidder meets the requirements that we set or they're deemed non-responsive. We define a small business based on the federal Small Business Administration size standards, and a very small business enterprise is based on the state of California's micro business enterprise, which is a business that has annual gross receipts of less than $5 million. We do have a certification that is known as SBE proprietary, meaning if you get certified for that, your certification is good for the port, the airport, and the Department of Water and Power. And, we contract for all types of services, legal services, all sorts of environmental services, information technology services, engineering services. We have photographers. So pretty much we procure a variety of services and equipment. That's
All right.
all I have.
All right. Thank you, Tricia. All right. So then from the Port of LA, we move to the Los Angeles Public Library. And I will stop sharing and we go to Kathy Serrano. Oh, of
Yeah.
course, I would put the wrong presentation. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. It sort of moved around on me here. Okay, Kathy, take it away.
Excellent. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Lisette. As you mentioned, my name is Kathy Serrano, and I am an accountant with the Los Angeles Public Library. I am part of the business office team where I mainly work on budget and more recently on contracts. So let me tell you a little bit about my library, about us. The Los Angeles Public Library is the largest public library system west of the Mississippi. I bet you didn't know that. In addition to our central library, we have 72 branches in our system. Our libraries are vibrant community centers with programs which turn young children into lifelong readers, inspire teens to set career goals, and help adults enrich their lives. Annually, over 15 million people, guys, visit our libraries and participate in over 2,000 programs, borrowing over 15 million items from the collections of print, downloadable books, music, films, and so many other items. In addition, our library website visits exceed 22 million. So it makes me very, very proud that we are able to reach so many in our communities and all over for that matter. Next, please. Currently, our library has one upcoming opportunity. This is a mental health services and or social services. And I say at this time because in previous times we can have a multiple opportunities going on all at once. So, but at this particular time, we have the one. The Los Angeles Public Library has issued a request for qualifications seeking multiple entities to provide professional mental health services and or social services at the Central Library and our branch facilities on an as needed basis. The Los Angeles Public Library is committed to providing an inclusive and robust outreach process for the disadvantaged, marginalized, and local businesses and individuals. Our goal is to create a diverse pool of candidates that would be able to provide services and support to our library department and our patrons. Next, please. Important information to keep in mind for this particular opportunity is that we have a mandatory pre-proposal virtual conference coming up on Wednesday, May 18th at 10 a.m. You will need to RSVP by Monday, May 16th, 2022 at 5 p.m. And the proposal date is Thursday, June 30th by 5 p.m. So for specific details on this excellent opportunity, please, 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 I urge you, just like all my other fellow presenters say, is to register and log on to www.rampla.org. And on that side, you not only will be able to see our opportunities here at the library department, but also with all the other City of LA departments. Our website is www.lapl.org, and you can come and visit us at our central location or at any other branches. I urge you to come and visit us as well and peruse our library website so that you can see the vast amount of programs that we're able to offer from adult literacy all the way to Tech to Go, which is where we loan out technology, laptops, iPads, hotspots, and just come and visit us. Be part of that large community that increases every single time with our visits to the Central Library or to our website. Thank you very much. And with that, I'll pass it back on to Lisette.
Woohoo, LAPL.
Yay.
All right. So thank you all again for being here. And it looks like we have a few questions, starting with one of our viewers, a Miss Paula Roberts. And her question is, as a small business from another state, are we able to bid on solicitation opportunities and register on your website to receive open solicitation, even though we are not a small business in LA? So I'm not sure who wants to take this. But I'm assuming it's very general depending on the department. So if anybody wants to take it, please go ahead and.
I'll take it for Los Angeles World Airports, and I think similar for the city. I think that definitely we would encourage you to go ahead and get a certification recognized by one of the our local agencies. And the good thing is that we have a lot of reciprocity. And if you already have a small business certification from another state, you're likely to qualify for one here. Or even if you have a DBE, if you're a small business administration 8A, you know, you're going to qualify. And from what we hear from vendors, the stage process is actually one of the quickest, and we do have reciprocity with that. So certification is not a requirement to bid on our projects. What it is just an opportunity to make yourself more attractive as a vendor, as a sub vendor, a subcontractor, because as mentioned by many of the representatives, we have requirements, not goals. On some of our federally funded projects, there's goals because that's how the federal program is set up. But on our local projects, it's requirements. So contractors, prime contractors, developers know that they have to hit these goals with small, local, disabled veteran businesses on LAWA projects. And so it's just very helpful for you to be able to advertise that on top of your great qualifications, on top of your great technical skill set, you're also a certified firm with our business, with one of the agencies that with whom we have reciprocity. And on the LAWA website, the agencies with whom we have reciprocity are listed there. So even though we're updating the whole thing, that section is still up.
It's still usable. All right, Amber. So it looks like we have another one directed for LAWA, and it says here, it looks like we tried to apply as vendor with LAWA before, but at that time, I guess they were asked if they owed property like offices or trucks. Can we apply if we don't owe property?
Was that
Somebody
own or owe?
it looks
Oh,
like it looks like they didn't owe, but do they
I
need
guess
to?
I guess the answer to this is very specific. I need to really understand more about your background. And again, we don't typically have it most likely was a certification that you were seeking that maybe you didn't qualify for that particular certification, because we don't necessarily have vendor requirements other than what's in the particular, solicitation. So it sounds like you were trying to maybe register as a supplier or manufacturer, and there's requirements around that for various certifications. So again, so many questions are going to be so specific. This is why our business jobs and social responsibility division exists, to really field those questions and kind of help navigate you through what's particular for your needs.
Okay. And also, please remember, for those of you who are in the audience, the websites that we previously showed for each department, it has the contact email that Amber mentioned at the end of hers. And I'll try to post it again just so you guys can see it. And if you have any additional questions, please reach out to that email. All right. So let's see, what do we have here as one of our other questions? It looks like this one's a very general one for all of you. And you can respond in whichever order you guys want to. Can each of you tell me about some of the business opportunities available at your department? It might be a repeat as to what some of you have already said, but if you think there's something coming up, please just go ahead and mention it.
I think the best advice that we can give as a group is to register on www.rampla.org so that you yourself can see what opportunities are coming, because there's so much going on that I think the best assurance is to register and look at Ramp LA for all upcoming opportunities.
Yeah, just to add on to that,
Okay, go ahead.
Have an account on rampla.org. You can see all of our prior opportunities that we've posted, and while we may have something come out for a specialized service, we typically contract over and over and over and over again for the same types of services and materials.
Along that line, I wanted to mention that also on our website, we have, of course, as Kathy mentioned, all of our opportunities are posted on Ramp. But in order to before things get posted on Ramp, you really want to understand that kind of annual or that kind of periodic flow of which contracts are going to expire, because likely we're going to, procure something similar. So we have also on our website a place where you could find like contract expiration dates. But there are a couple that I do want to mention. We will have some car rental concessions coming up, and those are subject to the ACDBE Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. So that means you could be someone who washes cars, maintains cars, provides car parts. If you're a certified ACDBE, that you're going to be in high demand for these car rental concessions. We also have a number of major projects coming up, some of which are already posted on Ramp, which is terminal mobile generators. We also have our airfield and terminal modernization roadway projects, right? So that's, if you're a small contractor, you really want to be looking at that, trying to get on a bigger team, because that's going to be a lot of opportunity for small construction contractors, as well as the taxiway D extension. That's going to be again, something that has federal dollars in it. So if you have a DBE, then that's something for you to consider. And then we have, again, a number of projects, too many to really name, but those are some of the ones I wanted to highlight. Again, just understanding kind of like the big picture and where we're going as a capital program. We have a years-long program to modernize our cargo facilities, our trucking staging, like a lot of things. So it's part of it is really just getting to know your agency, and again, following up with folks like me who can kind of give you more insight into, of course, we all post our opportunities, but there's more to it. It's about understanding kind of the dynamics around how these things come to be, what objectives the agency is trying to reach with it. And then one thing, I don't want to dominate, but I know I just wanted to mention one quick thing that I didn't mention before. So a lot of us we all have, just different certification programs, small business, local business inclusion programs. Something that LAWA has done that I'm very proud of, that is somewhat unique to us, is that we've incorporated the scoring of inclusivity in every single competitive procurement. So again, it just increases that incentive for the teams to want to be more diverse, more inclusive, because not only are they going to be required to meet it once the contract is awarded, they're going to be more likely to get the contract if they can demonstrate that they have a diverse and inclusive team, and that they have a realistic approach for hitting those markers, those contract requirements. So that's something I just wanted to make sure to highlight, is that, we're putting our money where our mouth is with respect to not just the opportunities that we put out, but our policies to stand behind it and enforce that.
That's great. Actually, it's actually really awesome. All right. So what do I have here? Oh, okay. Here's one for the Port of LA, for Trisha. How does the port define a small business, very small business, and how does the program work?
So a small business enterprise is based off the Federal Small Business Administration size standards. So the federal government sets maximum values. It's all going to depend on your industry. Like, I think general contractors, the size standard limit is 33 million. It might be 35 million now, but like if you're in a subcontractor type field, the cap is 15 million. So it really varies by what industry you're in. And a very small business enterprise is a firm that has gross receipts of less than $5 million a year. And so we do have a certification. Essentially, you can either fill out our application, which would be good for water and power and the airport, or if you qualify with the state, which I recommend people, if you can qualify with the state, go to the state first. So that way you're not filling out the state certification, our certification, Metropolitan's water district certification. A lot of agencies recognize the state certification. So if you go to them, then you can likely get certified with a lot of other agencies simply by having that certification.
Oh, okay. And I guess a follow up to that, how are they awarded?
Uh, like
So
the
I guess it would be how the once you've selected a company or a small business from the proposals, how I'm, I'm
so
assuming
well,
that's
I don't know for how our contract opportunities are awarded. So construction projects and contracts for materials and supplies and equipment are awarded to the lowest bidder. If it's a professional service contract like engineering services, IT services, those are awarded to the most qualified proposer. So a lot of like experience, your project team, your rates and fees. There's a lot of different factors that come into play, and then the contract would be awarded to the highest scoring firm, not necessarily um, the lowest cost per se.
okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, then. So thank you, Tricia. So it looks like I have one for Kathy from Kenneth Becker. How much of your annual budget is allocated for construction, new, I guess for construction, new and renovations?
Hi, Kenneth. Because we have various types of contracts, it's I'm not able to produce an answer to you right now simply because that's more on a granular level because you are being specific with construction, new construction and renovation. But if you give me, or let me give you my contact information and I can respond to you. My email address is Kathy, Cathy dot Serrano, Serrano at lapl.org. And I'll make sure to get back to you on that, on your question. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. And then I think we have, due to time, there might be one more for Kathy. Okay, here we go. I think you kind of mentioned it, but I'll just mention the question. Is the pre for every bid?
Absolutely. That's an important, that's why it's called a mandatory, because at that point you can learn more about the opportunity and bring any questions that you might have and also listen into other questions that might be at that pre-proposal mandatory virtual meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
I had a few for Catherine, but I think we're still having technical issues. So for those, we will try to reach out to Catherine and see if she can respond to them, or her department can respond to them. So I guess the main takeaway here is from our speakers here that are with us today is to basically register with ramp. Go and see what bids and opportunities are there for you as a small business. If you have any questions, as our speakers have mentioned, please don't hesitate to reach out to the appropriate organization or to the specific part of their department to see how they can assist you further in the bidding and proposal process. So thank you again, all of you, Tricia, Kathy, Amber, and Catherine, who unfortunately stepped out for a bit. Thank you for being with us today. And we will now go on to the last portion of our presentation. And it's going to be with Mr. Rolando Tuason. So let's see here. Okay, so Rolando Toisson is a certification analyst with the Public Works Bureau of Contract Administration Certification Section. His section is responsible for all certification programs for the City of Los Angeles. The certification section reviews applications for the different certification programs and maintains a database of all certified firms with the City of Los Angeles. Okay, so Rolando, thank you for being here. Let me bring up your presentation.
Thank you, Lisette.
All right, here we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Rolando Tuason, Certification Section, Bureau of Contract Administration. As a contractor that wants to participate on city projects, your path starts with maintaining a profile in RAMP LA. This is the new portal that replaced the Los Angeles Business Assistance Virtual Network, or BAVAN for short. RAMP LA is your source of information for all city contracting opportunities and where your company information, including your certifications, are available to all city departments and prime contractors looking for partners on city projects. My short presentation will introduce you to the certifications available with the City of LA. There are 11 certifications that you can apply for by either submitting a paper application or applying through your account in RAMP LA. Just to let you know, the next presentation I have here, some of which have been covered by our previous presenters. So next slide. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, the biggest programs are the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, or DBE, and the Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, or the ACDBE. These are federally mandated certifications for projects with federal funding. The main criteria for this is that the owner should be a minority, someone who belongs to a presumptive group, shown on the right, or a woman owner, and they must prove their ownership and control of the business and subject to the limits of the owner's personal net worth and the average gross income of the business. The next two are the Minority Business and Women Business Enterprise certifications, which are grandfathered and follow the federal guidelines for ownership and control without the limits for personal net worth and gross income. The Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise for the airport must have an active disabled veteran certification from a recognized veterans agency and must be headquartered in LA County. Next slide, please. Our location-based certifications, namely the local business enterprise, the local small business, and the local transitional employer, are for businesses headquartered in LA County. The small local business was formerly the small local business certification, while the transitional local transitional employer replaced the previous transitional job opportunities program certification. These three programs use a single application form available from your account in RAMP LA. Next slide, please. Another one is the LGBTE certification. And this is again another certification, recognition certification for businesses with active LGBTE certification from the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce. Next slide, please. The Small Business Enterprise and the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise certifications require the business to first be certified with the California Department of General Services. You can apply from the link shown on the slide. And I believe this was thoroughly covered by Teresa with the Department of General Services earlier. Next slide, please. This slide shows how and where you can apply for each certification. The SBE proprietary certification used by our proprietary departments of DWP, LAWA, and POLA is another recognition-based certification from agencies listed in the front of the application form. Without an active certification from one of these recognized agencies, then the business must submit a paper application to our office. As you can see, you can apply for a number of these certifications through your account in RAMP LA. Next slide, please. I know that you will have questions on the programs that you are interested in to apply for, and we encourage you to email these questions to our general email address or go to the Bureau of Contract Administration's website for more information. In closing, I suggest you familiarize yourselves with these programs and apply for those that you are eligible for sooner than later and not wait until you are in the bid submission process. It takes time to review all these applications with our limited number of staff members. You should also know which certification is required for the project that you are interested in by reading the bid requirements. And with that, thank everyone for your time and interest in the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Orlando. So it looks like we have a few questions. Let me just make sure here. All right. Okay. So the first one is how often do you need to renew your certification?
Okay. It really depends on the type of certification you have. The applicant should read each program's criteria available to them when applying for each program. But for example, for the DBE and ACDBE and the MBE and WBE certification, there is no expiration date. However, the DBE and ACDBE, being a federally mandated program, needs yearly updates to be submitted to our office. For the three local location-based programs of the LBE, LSB, and LTE, for the local business program, you need to renew this after 5 years. For the local small business and local transitional employer, the certification is for 30 months, 30. The SBE proprietary, which is recognized or used by our three proprietary departments, if you are given that certification because of your recognized certifications, meaning that you already have a current certification with our recognized agencies, it will follow the certifying agency's expiration date. But if you submitted a hard copy with us because you didn't have a current certification, then it is good for 2 years. And then the SBE and small business enterprise, the emerging business enterprise, and the disabled business enterprise is good for 2 years from the date of when the city approved your certification. And again, this is a recognition of the California Department of General Services certification. So no application required from us.
Okay. Actually, that's great. It's a lot of information there. All right. So let's see here. So, can other counties outside of the LA County, businesses in those counties apply for certification for the city?
For most our certification, we only accept those in LA County, but the one certification you can apply for, even though you're outside of LA County or even outside of the state, is the SBE proprietary certification. Now that goes to show that, or that means that you're not recognized by any of the local agencies that we recognize with, and then you have to submit a hard copy with us.
Okay, it's good to know. For those of you who are from out of the LA County or out of state, it's perfect. All right, so it looks like we have one last question. Do you need to pay any fees to get certified?
Good answer is no. All the certifications with the city are free.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's see if there's anything else. Anybody else have any additional questions out there? No? All right, then. So it looks like basically that is all for today. And I'm going to remove you, Rolando. All right, then. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and being here with our speakers from the state, the various city departments, and for dealing with our technical difficulties throughout this program. Now, I'd like to mention that the last program in this series will be on Monday, May 11th at 12 p.m. and will cover financing and city resources. This program will also be streaming live on the library's YouTube and Facebook pages. And all three of them at the end, I mean, even now, the first part of our program, part of our series, and this one will all be available on the library's YouTube page for you to view at your leisure. I'm also adding a quick survey link in the comment box, which is less than 3 minutes. So that if you have time, when you have time, to please let us know how you guys like the programs, if you haven't, or what would you like to see. So please, again, when you guys have a time, it will be posted here soon enough in the comment box. And when you have time, please go ahead and do it. So again, thank you everyone for being here with us today, and have a great afternoon.